I don't know what I would make and I feel stuck. I don't know how to get the idea out of my head and onto paper. I don't know how to bridge that gap. And that's why I wanted to record this episode. Hello and welcome back to the Dream Printing Podcast. Today is a special workshop where we're going to be getting you unstuck in the creative process of making your thing. So I have started Horacio printing way back in 2014. I've sold tens of thousands of planners and I've had people come to me asking for help creating their thing. That's why last year I launched Print School and I've been helping dozens and dozens and dozens of students ideate and really pull that product out of their head and then eventually get that product in their hands in the form of a sample. And so I love doing this stuff. And what I hear time and time again of people that are interested in print school but just don't take that leap is I don't know what I would make and I feel stuck. I don't know how to get the idea out of my head and onto paper. I don't know how to bridge that gap. And that's why I wanted to record this episode and take you through this special workshop. I have 3 unstuck exercises to help you get unstuck and to help us get that idea out of your brain and really just bring it to life. So strap in. This is going to be an amazing episode. And we're going to start with our 3 things. So 3 unstuck exercises. Now, the first thing that I want to caveat, the very first thing, and this is not number 1, but this is definitely a keeper. For me, in the creative process, whether that's writing an email or creating a product or anything really, one of my most successful unstuck exercises for me, creatively speaking, is prayer and journaling. Prayer and journaling. When I connect to my God and to my higher power, to Jesus, when I connect to Him and pray and then freely journal, that really gets my creative juices flowing. And it makes sense because God is the creator of all things. He is the ultimate artist. And because we're created in the image of God, we are artists too. And I believe the life you create is the most important work of art you will ever create. And maybe you don't like the way your life is right now, and it's up to you to create it. But the reason you have that itch to create something, I think it's because it's in your DNA, it's in your humanity to want to create, because we are created in the image of a creative God. And so tapping into God's divine creativity is really, really powerful. So for me, sitting down to pray, read my Bible, I do my Lectio 365 app in the morning. These are things that I love to do to tap into that creativity. And it's not just, oh, I want to do this so I can be creative. It's also, there's obviously a lot bigger reasons behind it, like everything, more peace in my life, more sense of purpose, more clarity on what God's will is for my life. Obviously there's many reasons to have that quiet time, but I just want to caveat that doing that for me has always been my greatest unstuck exercise. It helps me remember my place, and my place is an instrument. I'm a tool in the hand of God. And I am, a vessel. And so it's not all on me. Because I think sometimes we have this creative pressure to carry it all. Like it's all on me and I've got to create it. And if it fails, I'm going to look bad. It's like, but getting in touch with God takes that pressure off. Like you're partnering with Him and like He's in it with you. I don't know. So I didn't plan to go that deep into it, but I do think that's really important. And as a Christian, like that is my belief. And hopefully that's inspired you a bit. But that's one of the first things that I do with anything creative is I have to align with God's will. I do that before I write my bucket list. I do that before I plan my week. I do that before I write an email. I do that before I do anything with marketing. I want to connect with the heart of God, and it takes the pressure off. So that's the first thing, getting in that habit of daily prayer and journaling. So let's talk about the 3 unstuck exercises specifically for creating a paper product, okay? The first one is you need to draft a vision statement. a vision statement. So what does that vision statement look like? It's very simple. It's made of 3 parts. And I've talked about this on the podcast, so maybe you already have your vision statement. If not, let's build it right now. The vision statement is made up of what. So write down on your piece of paper number 1 and write the word what. Who, and then help. So what are you wanting to create? Who is it for? And how does it help them? What, who, and help. When I was first getting started, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see here's my very first planner way back in 2015. The quality, I mean, I paid 4x for this product, whereas I'm paying like 75% less for a much sturdier product 9 years later. But what I was creating at that point, I had very strong clarity, and you need clarity to be unstuck. That's really important. So I was creating a planner for Christian women, specifically like cool Christian women, like minimalist. I was living in Manhattan, so it was like cool, minimalist. They love calligraphy, anyways, like that elevated posh style Christian, not the, planner that has like kittens on the front, or I don't know. Back then there were not like cool Christian products as much. In 2014, it just didn't really exist. Most of them to me were, pardon my language, they were just kind of corny, anyways, but I knew I was making a planner for Christian women who really liked luxury products and elevated style, who had good style. And then how it would help them is it would help them redesign their life into a work of art. It would help them put God in the center of their time. It would help them be intentional. I really was clear on what that product was and what I wanted it to do because I had that vision statement. So what is your vision statement? What do you want to make? I want to make a journal. I want to make a devotional. I want to make a planner. I want a hybrid, a journal planner or a journal devotional, like one of the hybrids. So write that down. I want to make a blank. And then who is it for? Who's that target audience? Normally, the target audience of what you want to create is you. I know for me, like I wanted this planner. I needed it. My life was a mess. Like I wanted the product. So the target audience will likely be someone close to you or an older version of you before you XYZ. I've seen people create organization planners and it's like, that's for me 5 years ago. I'm making the product I needed 5 years ago. Or maybe it's the product you need right now and you need it just as much as the next person. So who is it for? Like we have someone in print school making a party planner for Tupperware enthusiasts. And I'm like, that's unique. Like that's niche. What is your niche? What is your target audience that you're creating for? And then how does it help them? Ultimately, you need to know, how is this going to help them? I want to help them understand their budget. I want to help them pour into their marriage. I want to help them feel less overwhelmed as a mother entrepreneur. I want to help them grow in their walk. I want to help them fall in love with the Bible. I want to help them understand how much Jesus loves them. Like, what do you want in that product? If it's your devotional, how do you want that devotional to ultimately help them? Is there a theme or a section of their life or a section of their walk that you want to help them through this product journey? So take a moment, feel free to pause this episode, feel free to pause this video if you're watching on YouTube, and write that down, what your vision statement is. And it's okay to not be 100% sure, and it's okay for it to be short. I'm making a planner for women to help them feel more organized and less overwhelmed. There's nothing wrong with the simplicity of that. Just write it down. And I know you might want to create 10 products. You're like, well, actually, I want to make a meal planner and a fitness journal. And I've been wanting to make a t-shirt line. And I'm also wanting to do pencil pouches. And then I want to create the journals that go along with it and the companion thing. Like, I get it. You're like me. You want to make all the stuff. You want to do all the things. But what's the first product you want to create? The very first one. We have to start there. So write your vision statement. And then we will move on to number 2. Number 2 is see it visually. We wrote a vision statement, and now I really want you to experience your vision statement. Experience the possibility of what this could be. So I want to invite you right now to take a seat, to close your eyes, to take a deep breath. We're going to do a little visualization exercise. We're going to visit your future self after you have created your paper product. This is a really special moment. I've done this twice in our live workshops, and I hope that you love this exercise as well. But in order to do it, you need to close your eyes and let yourself see the vision. And God is full of imagination. He is so creative, and your mind is such a powerful tool. And so I want you to harness that power and to see it. So if you're driving and listening to this on the podcast, do not close your eyes. Keep your eyes on the road. But I do invite you in this moment to sit down and to close your eyes. So do that now and take 2 deep cleansing breaths. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let's let go of anything else on our to-do list later today, anything else going on in the world, any news you've heard. And let's just take another deep breath and exhale all of that. Okay, with your eyes closed, take another deep breath, release your shoulders, unclench your jaw. And I want you to picture yourself in your happy place. Maybe it's at a park and there's a beautiful bench. Maybe it's at the beach with a friend. I want you to picture yourself in this place. Maybe it's a cafe with a cup of coffee. Picture yourself in that place. Look at yourself sitting there on the bench or in the chair. Picture yourself. You look happy. You look maybe a little suntanned. You have this glow about you, and you have this joy and this spark in your eyes. You're sitting there taking a deep breath, completely at peace. Now, I want you to picture one of your dear friends or somebody really special in your life sitting there next to you. Who is it on the bench? Picture them there sitting next to you. You guys are catching up. Once you can see it. Okay, do you see them next to you? Okay, so you're both sitting there. And you have a big bag next to you. And your friend asks you, so what's been going on? What's new? What's the latest? And you have this twinkle in your eye and you say, I actually have something really special to show you. And you reach down in your bag and you pull out this beautiful paper product that you've been working on, and you hand it to your friend. She looks at it with shock and awe. Her mouth drops open. She rubs her hands across the product and she is so excited. Oh my gosh, this is it. This is what you've been working on. I love it. I can't wait to buy one. And you say, no, this one is yours. This is yours. And you open up that front cover for her, and inside you've written a note to her. She reads the note and her eyes get a little misty. She says, I'm so proud of you. You did it. All right. So that was the park bench exercise, and I would love to know how that went for you. Feel free to write a comment in the YouTube video, put a comment in the podcast episode. You can also message us inside of our Facebook group, the Dream Printing Podcast Community. But right now, I want you to grab your pen and your piece of paper in front of you, and I want you to write down what you saw. What did you feel? Who was on your bench with you? Was it your best friend? Was it your dad? Was it, who was there with you in that moment? What did you feel when they touched your product and they held it in their hands? And then lastly, what did it look like? What was it? I can't tell you how many times I've done this exercise and somebody had an idea of something they want to make. And then when they did this exercise, they saw something completely different. Like, oh, I'm actually supposed to make this. What did you see? What color was it? Write down everything you can while this is still really fresh in your mind. Was it black leather? Was it purple? Was it colorful? Was it floral? Was it look like a planner? Was it a journal? What were you handing to her on the bench with you? So take a moment, soak this in, and write it down. So now that you have your vision statement, we've done this vision exercise. Feel free to pause me if you need to pause and take more time for this. I do want you to get everything out of this workshop today. The last thing is to get unstuck, and I mentioned this in my last episode, is you want to map out the user journey. Like if you're creating a devotional specifically to help overwhelmed moms, how many days does this devotional take them through? How many times do they use this? Is it a 30-day devotional? Is it a 60-day devotional? Is it a 90-day devotional? Is it a Lent devotional for 40 days? What is the journey there? The other question is, when do you expect them to use this? Is this like a morning routine thing or an evening routine thing? And that can somewhat change how you create the product. For example, if you are creating like a night routine journal, well, maybe that journal has a reflection on the day, of like, how did the day go? And like looking forward to the next day is a little different than what someone would do in their morning routine, right? So when do you expect them to use it? And I really find that it is so good to give your customers and the buyer instructions. People want to know what to do with it. If they don't know what to do, they don't do anything with it typically. So having this is a morning routine, like having it be specific is powerful because then people know how to fit it into their life. So what is the user journey? When do you want them to use this? How many times can someone use this until they need to buy a new one? Another great question. So those are some things to sit with of your vision statement, what you saw in the exercise, and then the journey that you're creating for them for this product. When they open up that front page, what do you want to be right there on that front page? And this is stuff that we do inside of Print School. And they actually have a free workshop for you if you're interested in the entire dream printing method, timelines, costs, all of that. Go to my free on-demand workshop. It's at horacioprinting.com/workshop. I will meet you over there and take you through the entire process. But I'd also really love to connect with you if you want to jump into our Facebook community, the Dream Printing Podcast community. Head over to Facebook, type that in the search bar, meet me over there. I would love to meet you and love to hear how this workshop went for you and what you saw in the exercise. I think it's so much fun. It's so cool what God can do. And when we use our imaginations and connect and align with Him. So that is everything for today. I hope this episode has blessed you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll meet you right back here next Wednesday for our next episode.